Welcome to the regular meeting of Saarbrück City Council. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You'd call the roll, please, Joan.
Mayor Swenson.
Here.
Counselor Border.
Here.
Counselor Tafe.
Here.
Counselor Bacco. Counselor Christensen.
Okay. First item on the agenda is a consent agenda. We have one thing on the agenda that we have to add in for water and sewer, which was inadvertently left out. So, is there any other comments or questions on the agenda?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by Councilman Gorder to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Councilman Tafe. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We have Nick Coos with Woodseth here. Next item on the agenda. Hi, Nick.
Hi, everyone. Nick Coos with Woodseth. Have a quick update on a couple of things that we've been working on. First, we'll start with the 2020 project. We're still trying to get numbers in from MnDOT. They haven't gotten back to us yet with the formal Schedule I. We did get the HRA dollars, but we hadn't gotten the finance costs from those guys yet.
Yeah, we're working on getting
Yep.
that together.
So once we get all the numbers together, then we can get those finished up. Any questions on that? Okay. Then we can move on to the lighthouse.
Nick, are we still thinking in January or February for assessment hearings? Or
Well, we'll have to
Suppose that
give
depends.
we have to give notification. So
Yeah.
probably looking more like February, I guess, would be the thought now.
Okay.
As long as we can get all the numbers together.
Yeah, and we have our audit going on too, so,
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
busy then.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. So, okay. We've had some, this is the Lighthouse project. We had some communications with the DNR. It was determined, so I handed out a summary packet there of the communications to date on the Lighthouse project. The public water permit is not required for the proposed work from the preliminary sketch that we had done. We won't need a DNR permit. However, the DNR did provide some comments on the project that they would like addressed. The city will have to follow their shoreland ordinance, and if variances are required, follow those steps to approve a variance if that's what's needed. And then, the structure must be set, then they had cited some figures from the shoreland ordinance, the 10-foot setback from the ordinary high water level, and proposed location is in the floodplain, Zone A, so some things to consider. And then they had some other potential impacts that we'll work through, and then the ones that we can accommodate, we surely will. Don't know if we'll be able to accommodate all of the requests that they had, but we'll do what we can to to, address the issues that they brought up.
I did talk to Larry Van Hout today, and he said he's gonna review all this in a little more detail, and
Yep.
we talked about, getting some blueprints for a lighthouse so that we could
Yep.
start contacting contractors and so forth, so.
Yep, get quotes
So-
on the project. Yep, so the next step will be to work through the comments that the DNR made and get those sorted out and then fit the plans into the requirements of the ordinance, I guess, as best we can. And then for the pieces that need a variance, then we'll work through that process as well.
Okay.
And then get quotes on it, I guess.
Say, Nick, if you had a timeline on this thing as to when it could possibly be completed, what would your best guess be?
If we need to do a variance, then we'll have to follow that process. We'll have to get the plans together so that so that planning and zoning can review them.
Sure.
So I would say at least 2 months,
Oh,
probably, to get it done.
Thank
You
you.
know,
I understand Pope County Soil and Water is not, it's determined it's not within their jurisdiction, and
yep, that is correct, yep.
so,
So we don't need a permit from them for wetlands. They have jurisdiction over the wetlands, and it was determined that that area was not a wetland, so.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on the lighthouse project?
Can you share what the project is at this point? Have you made a decision as to where the lighthouse will be located?
Yes,
Are you still
well,
looking at the three scenarios, or have you determined what you want to do?
I don't believe the formal decisions have been made yet. But when we put the plans together, that's when we'd look at the options and make a decision.
Okay, so no decision as to where the lighthouse is going to be has been made?
no firm decision, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess if, that being said, if you want more public involvement on the process, we can work that into the design phase as well, if you'd like. We could have a public meeting about it, and, once we get some draft plans together, or the different scenarios, go through that and get feedback, I guess, if you would like to do that.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
We have a new council member, and I'd just like to welcome our new councilman, Dane Christensen, to our city council. I think he's going to be a valuable asset to the council, and I'm glad that we have people that'll step forward and want to serve the city and devote their time for the little compensation that they get.
Absolutely, thank you.
And so forth, so welcome, Dane. I appreciate it, yeah. I'd also like to welcome back Councilman Tafe, who got reelected, and so that's good. We're fortunate to have a good council and good people working for us, so appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is the police monthly report. I don't know if anybody had any questions. Mitch is not here tonight, so. If there are no questions or whatever, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda is the fire department, and welcome Doug Noyes, the chief, and he's gonna.
Okay, I just had a couple things. I wanna get to our new members in a second. The fire department relief is gonna make a donation to the city of Starbuck for a 5-gas monitor that we purchased. Everything has to go through the city, so we're gonna donate to you guys. I need a motion to approve the donations so that we can buy that
This is
monitor.
for what?
For a 5-gas monitor,
Oh,
for carbon monoxide calls and stuff like
Okay.
that, so. It's $2,500, $24.90 something, so Casey was gone by the time I tried to get a check today, so,
okay.
We'll
But-
probably need to make an actual resolution.
Okay.
But
yes. We can calibrate it, the bump station was another $400. So for the gases expire every year, so we figured it's $80 every year to get it calibrated or bumped. So we're just gonna have them come do it or send it in, cause now we have 2 monitors. We kinda wanted to have a backup, so we've only ever had 1. And then there are, I think, 3 of them. Mike Sullivan has donated some to us for the chiefs to have to give to whoever's going in too, so. But yes, we will have to have them bump tested like we do every year, so. Yep. The gases go bad, so we don't wanna have the expense and every year of $300 for the gases, so.
Well,
Yes. It'd be better because you could do it more often, but on the other hand, then they're testing it for us, so.
I'll make a motion that we accept the donation from the Relief Association. And it was the Relief Association, you said,
Yep.
right? So, okay. So we have a motion by myself, seconded by Councilman Gorder, to accept the donation for the purchase of that equipment. And is there any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, next thing I have, and I'd actually like to ask them to come on up. 2 of the new firefighters we put on pending council approval and stuff there too, but Emily Roaring is one of the ones that we put on. She had a basketball game tonight. She's a basketball coach for the varsity. Not sure exactly head or assistant what she is, but, so she had that tonight at 7, so I didn't figure we could squeeze that in and get her to the game on time, so. Then I have Dylan Swensrud and Cody Frederick, so they're just, I wanted to get them in front of you guys so you guys knew who they were and let the
Yeah.
community know too, so.
Yeah.
But,
Welcome, Dylan and Cody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so,
thank you for your serving. So appreciate it.
be some good assets to have, so. Yep.
Good
Okay.
luck with the training.
We will have probably 8 going through a first responder class whenever we can get it scheduled here, so
Okay,
we'll get it, so. Okay,
all right.
thank you guys.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Next on our agenda, we have Randy Peterson with Water and Sewer.
I guess I just wanted to bring up and kind of see what your guys' opinion on the bulk water for the contractors that would come. Currently, I think it's $4 1,000. In the past, a lot of them would come and you'd tell them, to stop by the office and pay when they got done or whatever they got. I don't know if any of them paid. It wasn't very many. Typically, they'd get a couple $1,000s and it'd be $8, $12, something like that. And they always said they'd go and pay and never did. And, they kind of expect you to drop what you're doing to go get them a hydrant and get them water and that kind of thing. It sounds like a lot of the other communities have just kind of stopped doing it just because it's such a hassle. Last year, I told them they weren't going to get water until they paid, so you'd send them to the office. Well, then they'd go to the office and they never had any money on them. So they'd tell the office, well, just bill the company I work for. Well, it's a lot of work and hassle to make a bill out for $12 or $4 or $8, whatever they got, and to put it in the mail and hope that, they actually paid. So kind of towards the end of the year, I was like, it's not worth hassling. If you guys are going to abuse it, we're not going to do it. Or we had a water main break last year and we're busy with the water main break, and the contractor pulled up, with their vac truck and they're like, we need water. It's like, not going to happen, So I guess I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion is. My thought is if it's kind of like an out-of-town contractor that, raise the price to $25 or $50 a thousand just to make it worth it and, you know, make it so that they have to pay before they get anything. So I guess I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion on it was, and
That's not on our fee schedule, is it?
Well, it is on there, but
Oh, it is
for,
on
like Randy said, quite a bit less than we're
you know, if
talking.
it's like a local contractor that, you know, we work with quite often, you know, the $4 a thousand is fine. There's a few of them that, you know, that we just tell them which hydrant we want them to use, and whenever they need it, they just kind of get it. At the end of the year, they keep track of how many thousand they got throughout the year, and they let us know, and, you know, we mail it to them, like the telephone companies, Midwest, when they were doing the boring and that. And I don't have a problem, you know, for the $4 a thousand or whatever for that, but these are just the ones that are kind of in the area from the cities, you know, the hydro seeders or well drillers or vac crews or something like that, that I think we need to raise the price a little bit to make it worth it and actually get paid for it.
Randy, could you come up with a recommendation, for us, and then we could make it a motion at the city council meeting that, so we have it recorded and,
Yeah, I guess I would say minimum $25 a thousand, you know, if they're filling a truck, you know, it's $50 or whatever, and my thought was, you know, they'd come here and they'd pay, whether they write a personal check out and get reimbursed from their company, you know, we're not gonna bill the company or anything like that, just cause it's too much of a hassle, require them to pay ahead of time, and then,
Joan, can the city take a credit card?
We can, we just, I think, would say we need to have prepay on everything.
Yeah, okay.
How many thousand gallons do they use in a year?
it all depends on what they're coming with, you know, if it's a little vac truck, it might be 500 gallons or a couple hundred gallons. If it's a big vac truck, a couple thousand, you know, every vehicle is different, or some might have a big water tank if they're gonna water trees or something like
If you
that.
like summed it all up as, you know, total usage for a year, are we looking at a significant number, or?
Not really, no.
It's more the inconvenience.
It's more the inconvenience, and they kind of expect you to drop what you're doing to kind of accommodate them when they're coming through town. And then a lot of times I'd set up a hydrant with a valve on it, because I get nervous that they're just gonna open a hydrant like 3 turns and wash the bottom out of it. So a lot of times I like to be there. So typically I set the hydrant up with a valve on it, and then you're leaving a $300-400 valve on that hydrant, and they get a load and they say, well, I might need another one at 7 o'clock tonight or something like that. So you leave the hydrant open all night and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
My thought would be that you come during business hours and pay for what you're gonna get.
Yeah, unless it was some type of an emergency or whatever, but.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think they can make arrangements. Should be able to.
So we can probably bring that up at our next council meeting and, or,
I would say make a motion to approve the changes to our policies.
Is it something you wanted to do tonight, or future council meeting?
I would say that probably by the next council meeting would be good
Okay.
enough, wouldn't you, Gary?
you wanna do it at the council meeting, next
Yeah,
council
yeah,
meeting?
Then it's official, you
I mean,
Okay.
doesn't happen during the winter too much, does it?
Not typically, no, because a water truck is gonna freeze. You know, their pumps and that, so they don't typically use them much in the winter unless it's an emergency and it's a very nice day.
Okay. Okay, we'll put it on the agenda for next council meeting.
I guess the only other thing I have is, the street light on Second and Abercrombie. I see it's in the minutes for a little later on in the meeting. I wasn't sure if it's something you just wanted me to talk about now, or, I called and made some of the contact, or talked with some of the contacts I had at Excel Energy and kind of looked into it. They, kind of looked at where it would be, and it sounds like it'll be at no cost to us, the first couple 100 feet. they cover, so they'll put the light on there, the pole is there and it's close enough to where they need to hook up. So we'll just have the monthly fee of every other, just like every other street light in town, so he called me last week and it sounded, he was there looking at it and it sounded like the work order was going in, so I guess I would kinda expect to see the street light going up any day.
I think it put it on the pole that's right there.
The existing pole that's right on the corner, that's just inside the fence, so
Right.
it should be in the perfect place there, kinda shine right on the corner,
Okay.
so. And we have been, I was at a school and at the school they had mentioned also about generators. The DNR has generators, so, me and Doug, we're kinda doing some checking on that. We're hoping that we can possibly get buy a generator at a very good price, the way they kinda made it sound at that school for, the fire hall here, to power this when we, and also the siren when that siren does get put up. We did also turn in a request for one for our lift station by Minnewaska Marine, just to see what they have available. So keep our fingers crossed and hope that they have something in the right size for us that we'll be able to get.
So the request has gone into DNR?
Yep.
or-
Joan faxed it in or emailed it last week, so.
That's not big enough to power the office.
For the one here, it'll power everything. When I was talking with Excel about the streetlights, we were also looking at our peak use here, so we got its size to run the entire community center and siren and everything, all in one, so hopefully they have something for us. So,
Good.
wait and see. That's all I have. Anything else? All right, thanks.
Okay, next item on the agenda is city clerk treasurer, and what have you got for us, Joan?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know we're working on migrating to a new financial system. It's gonna change some of our account numbers and a few other things. Some issues have come up that our IT person is trying to work through, so hopefully he gets it worked through, or we're gonna have to talk about spending some money for a larger system, so. Anyway,
Does this system handle everything, including our utilities and so
no,
forth?
no, it doesn't.
Utilities
Our
is
utilities
separate?
are separate.
Okay,
It's not integrated.
okay. Okay.
So that's it for
Yeah.
now.
One of the problems Joan brought up is that right now, the current system is available to all the computers in the office, so all, three people can share it and put in, have input to it. The new system can only be installed on one computer.
It's, yeah,
So that's what they're,
not network compatible right now.
so that's what they're trying to see if they can have a workaround. Otherwise, we stay with the old system and hope it doesn't go down.
Right, because there's no support for the old system anymore, so we would be looking for something new.
What would it cost to have one that,
That did what we wanted it to. It would be significant, probably at least 8,000-10,000. But that's
So-
just ballpark off the top of my
The-
head.
And the current system is through the state, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's pretty low cost, but new system would be a little more expensive, so.
nothing available through the state anymore?
Well, that's this one that we can't network. We can the old one and not the new one, which doesn't make much sense, but
Makes sense to spend the money and get something, cause, how often do all three of you need to use it at the same time?
every day, yeah.
So,
It would, but it would take some planning to
Right.
pick a system.
maybe
and-
we need to look at it.
We might. We might,
There'll be plenty well spent, I guess.
it would. about $300, and it's already paid for. And Tiffany's put a lot of work into, the new account numbers and getting it ready, so we're hoping it's gonna work. We haven't given up.
Okay. Any other questions, or? Otherwise, we'll move on to, next item on the agenda. I don't know if there's any thing for the airport or anything. Did you have anything for the airport? No? Okay. Move on to old business, a street light ordered for Second Street, and I guess we got an update from Randy, so that'll be getting done, so at no cost to the city. Moving on to new business, we have Resolution 2023-01 designating the 2023 annual appointments. And, so I don't know if there's any questions or discussion on that.
So I did notice that on the website, a lot of these, positions are outdated, where you have like Ted Rosinka as acting mayor and stuff. Is that something that we are gonna update now?
We are gonna update that.
Good observation.
Guess I'd make a motion that we approve resolution number 2023-01, designating the 2023 annual appointments.
I'll second that.
Here we have a motion by Councilman Gorder to approve Resolution 2023-01, designating the 2023 annual appointments, seconded by Councilman Tafe. Is there any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is to approve the Rainbow Rider contract for 2023, and there's no change in the cost of it, so that has remained the same. There is one change in the contract, and I'll let Joan explain that.
Oh, the only change in the contract is they want to know quarterly how many bus passes are sold, through the office. Otherwise, it's the same $12,000 for the year, billed quarterly.
I'll make a motion to approve the Rainbow Rider contract for 2023.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Tafe to approve the Rainbow Rider contract for 2023, seconded by Councilman Gorder. Is there any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is to approve overtime or call time for Chief Johnsrud to cover employee leave. Right now, we have one of our police officers who's going to be going on maternity leave, and which has kind of left us short, and we don't have part-time officers or whatever to cover all the time, and so Chief Johnsrud was asked to be approved for overtime or call time when he has to complete the schedule. I don't know if there's any discussion on that or any questions.
I guess I would say, in consideration of this, what's happening, I think it's nice of Mitch to step up and offer to cover this stuff, so I would make a motion, we approve the overtime and call time for Chief Johnsrud to cover the maternity leave.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any thoughts about putting a cap on it or anything as far as the amount of time, or don't you think that's necessary?
I would think that's kind of difficult to do, not knowing the extent of the maternity leave, and I guess in my eyes, I guess we could address it if it does get to become an issue.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
Was the officer full-time, 40 hours a week?
Yeah, it's one of our full-time officers. Yeah.
So would that be significant for Mitch to pick up another full-time position in addition to his other duties?
Well, they'll be adjusting the schedule too, and, and probably using,
Overtime will be shared among everyone then?
well, I mean, overtime's already authorized per the contract for the other officers, but Mitch is in a different contract, where he wasn't authorized to overtime or anything, so.
Let's see.
Okay, if there's no more comments or questions, we have a motion and a second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That concludes our agenda for this evening, and,
I'll move we adjourn the meeting.
okay, we have a motion to adjourn, so we are adjourned.
I'll second the
Thank you,
motion.
everybody.